Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Well. Cutting a promo, ladies and gentlemen. In the building, you got your boy, Jada Red Santy, and of course, Homework Mike is stopping in with a nice background. You always seem to find a nice background for you. It brings out your eyes.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Is that what we're going for? That's the look we're going for these days?
I mean, it's special for today because we're talking about the big thing, the elephant in the room. So
Yeah, you also look like you're the hologram of the at the end of Return of the Jedi when Luke and Yoda and them come back. You got that glaze going on.
listen, I'm in my bedroom. I don't know what's going on with the lighting. You said this when we did Ring Fanatics, so I don't know.
But with that, you got the WWE draft background going on, and this is basically the review of that. And seems as though there's a lot of people that was more upset what occurred with the draft as per what the draft was about. I started gaining a little bit more of an understanding of the draft in the beginning and during. So it was more of holding the talent that you had in that pool as opposed to letting someone else swipe them up. And I think Triple H also made discussions of that as well. But at the same time, I felt as though that there should have been more exchanges and also more of a proper setup so that you don't have to have these feelings of holding talent to your brand. What's your thoughts about this?
I think going forward, if they're going to continue doing the draft specials, I would not do it on TV, honestly, because it's clear that it doesn't work. Or, not that it doesn't work, but it's more of the fact that we have to sit there as fans and have to have them go drafting people that are already on the show that they're already on. So I would limit it to maybe 30 minutes on YouTube as a draft special. And incorporate like randomness to it, like the old drafts back in like 2007, 8, 9, when you had like the PNGs pop up of the wrestlers, and then just because we'll get into some of the picks, but some of them where it's not like 3 months ago we saw wrestlers sign contracts to be on brands and they get swiped away with no explanation, no reaction from GMs. There was none of it.
Yeah, I had gotten a sense of there being a sense of it trying its hardest to put together a sports-like feel, but like you mentioned, talent being signed. You know what it was? It's like, let's say with the signing of Punk to Raw.
Right.
Like you could have just left him a free agent and then, announced during that time, Punk hasn't signed anything yet because we have a draft coming up in April. I think they did that a delay a little bit too late to let people know that he already had said he's signing a Raw. So I think they could have maybe like left him as a free agent. It wouldn't have hurt any to say what brand he was going to stay on.
That or make specific when the superstars are signing their contracts that has provision that when the draft comes up they stay on the show.
Right, something of that magnitude, that latitude. Also, there is some talk that there is going to be a post trade occurring.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Respected Craft guys, my boy. Yeah, what's going on there? My boy Ray. Ray survived his match this past week. No more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can send hook him up with a GoFundMe. Set himself up very well. Shout out to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there was more of a missed opportunity with the draft this year.
Yeah, and I have a prediction for the trade. I called it on Twitter and Facebook. Braun Strowman was drafted to Raw. I feel he should have been drafted to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel move him over to SmackDown, trade either Baron Corbin or Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the two, or maybe both. No, not both. Just one of them. And then when Uncle Howdy debuts with Alexa and Eric Rowan, and as we just had breaking news, Eric Rowan has signed a deal with WWE, so he's on his way back. It makes sense for Uncle Howdy and the family to be on SmackDown because when you look at Raw, the Judgment Day is about to split up, and they have the Final Testament now. That's like too many factions on one show. Like, am I crazy to think about that?
No, but also you got already.
Well, too many heel factions at least. So like one of those factions is gonna have to dominate the show, and one of them is gonna fall to the wayside.
Well, you got that dark, gothic look with the Final Testament on one show.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need them on both. So
Correct.
if you could get whatever Uncle Howard's going to be the Wyatt Six or whatever, you can move it to SmackDown. I had already said going in who my thoughts should be when it came to the Wyatt Six, and I think it would be perfect for them to go on SmackDown.
Right.
If you guys didn't catch it, I believe it should be Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, Howdy. I would, instead of Alexa Bliss, I would prefer Nikki Cross. She fits perfectly on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would either put Dexter Lumis or Joe Gacy. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking Dexter Lumis would be a better fit with the Final Testament.
Correct.
But,
I fully agree. I do think Alexa's going to be involved though. I do.
Right.
Just that her whole character background at this point revolves around it. So there's really no avoiding it.
Right. I'm I can't say I'm disappointed with the draft because every year for the past few years it's been goofy as shit. I could say the presentation was a bit better as for the legends coming out, making the announcements and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
We had our classic legend slip up of names. We had a Teddy Long called Ilya Dragunov Illa.
Illa. I mean, come on.
I mean,
we can attest to that sometimes. I could also get the understanding of how the shifting of the rosters could have been difficult because, like I said, they pretty much were continuing storylines and angles from before. If they would have done like a hard reset after Mania, there wouldn't have been no real ties to any shows. For instance, like I mean, Bloodline just sat there and pretty much tore up SmackDown that day.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, and Heyman was talking about that you guys are a liability. We're not sure if you're drafted yet. Cut to commercial, come back. They just got drafted. Like,
first,
that was
first
kind of
in the first and the fourth round. We'll get into the picks. I don't know if yeah. Do you want to get into the picks? Like,
yeah,
also,
sure,
let me ask you straight off the bat. Let me ask you straight off the bat. Are you the type of fan that care about the order of where everybody got picked?
Yes and no.
Because we'll get into some of them because I have a lot of things to say about it, but I want to get your thoughts first about it.
Is there echoing on my phone?
Well, it sounds like I hear on the background. I just don't hear you from the microphone.
Oh. Hold on. Let me check your phone. Okay.
You just sound very different today.
Let me see. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, it's good.
Let me see.
There you go.
There I go. All right, thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, this is always a checking of the settings and all that stuff. At least I know I got it from my Hindenburg. I'll have it clear. Okay, so all right, back to basics, ladies and gentlemen. So
I asked you, do you care about the order of like where everybody was? Like, do you care about that?
Like I said, yes and no, but let's go run down and I'll tell you whether or not if I care about it or not.
So we started on Friday, and also Jay, the one thing I emphasized to you last year was there were certain days where people were picked on because that was your big complaint last year about it. It was like, wait, why isn't Gunther taken first and on
Right,
this day?
right.
And thank God WWE specified all this stuff days prior because in the years past it was like nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So on Friday, we had 4 rounds and then the supplemental draft, but in the order that they were picked. So first overall pick went to SmackDown. They went with Bianca Belair, who was already on SmackDown.
Okay.
Obvious choice. This one kind of shocked me in this sense. The first pick for Raw, they took Jey Uso. I didn't think he was going to go first, but that just shows.
Wait a minute. On Raw took. I thought they took Seth first.
No, it was Jey Uso first.
Really?
Jey Uso was the first overall pick for Monday Night Raw. Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah, and then SmackDown. Third pick was Carmelo Hayes, which good for him. He deserves it.
Okay.
And that led into the whole thing with him going the main event with Cody. And then the fourth pick going to Raw was Seth Rollins. So that was round number 1.
Okay.
Round 2, SmackDown took Randy Orton, who was already on SmackDown. Going to Raw, pick number 5 was Braun Breaker. I like this pick a lot. Well,
yeah,
I like this move because it makes better sense for him to go to Raw than SmackDown. He has a better chance on Raw.
Okay, and that goes to what Nick is asking here. Thoughts on NXT call-ups? So far so good. The Braun Breaker call-up was spot on. The Carmelo call-up was it just makes me laugh with the Braun Breaker one because Nick Aldis was pretty much longing for him and trying to draft or try to lure him in for such a long time, and then
They did like a 2-week thing. They did like a 2-week thing where Braun's like, I have both offers. Even they did with Triple H on backstage where he said, "What do you think?" And then we just switched shows.
Right.
See if they did if they did a randomized, if they showed randomized again, like the PNGs pop up, and then you see the Raw logo and Braun Breaker there, like, and then you have Nick Aldis reaction like son of a like something. Right. It would have made more sense. What pick is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th pick. I call this one. SmackDown got Nia Jax. I was correct.
Yeah, that was logical. That had to be an automatic there.
Yeah. Then the next pick went to Raw. Raw picked up with Morgan again. Then we had round number 3. SmackDown drafts LA Knight. Raw drafts Ricochet. SmackDown then drafted the bloodline of Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. Jacob Fatu is on the way.
Yeah, it's slowly but surely the burn is gonna. I tell you, it's gonna happen after Backlash because he can't go to France. So yeah, I would be surprised if he popped up there, but due to his history, and I don't think he's eligible for his passport to be moving around and such like that. I would not. I will not be surprised that happens next Friday as opposed to this Friday.
Yeah, I feel the Backlash show. We'll get into predictions on Friday, but I feel something else will happen on Backlash. That's not Jacob Fatu. And then the last pick for this round, Raw got Sheamus.
Okay, not bad.
This was fine.
Yeah. Like I said, Sheamus was technically a free agent. He just returned on Raw. Didn't mean he was on Raw. That's all it was. But he got picked up.
In a logical sense, you could say Cody and Sheamus got traded for each other.
Right.
Because Cody went to SmackDown by default because he's the WWE champion. And Sheamus, the story with Sheamus is he's going to win the Intercontinental title, so he's better off on Raw.
I'm like I said, I wasn't too upset with that.
At this
round.
point, the draft was fine. It was just
the fact
that
I was okay with it.
Just the fact again where the people that were already on the respective shows are just being said once again. But this one got a lot of people in a danger because round number 4, the number 1 contender for the WWE title, AJ Styles, dropped in the 4th round.
Okay.
I mean, He should have been picked over Nia. Should have been picked over LA Knight. Should have been picked over the Bloodline.
I didn't see a problem with it. As a matter of fact, I'm actually surprised SmackDown did keep him. I thought he would have gone to Raw.
But also, again, you also have the question of like, why did Adam Pearce snatch him up if SmackDown wasn't picking him?
Right.
That's another thing. Fourth round, second pick goes to Raw. They drafted Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree as altogether as the Alpha Academy. Now we know hopefully where this is going with Chad and the Creed brothers, but just the idea that Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine got drafted this high also too is like kind of ridiculous. Third round of the fourth pick. Third pick in the fourth round, Andrade. So this was also another thing I called correctly. He's going to SmackDown.
Good pick.
And this one shocked me. Kiana James got drafted to Raw. Now, have you seen a lot of her stuff in NXT?
I've seen some. I'm not. I can't say I'm a big viewer of her matches, but I've seen a couple of matches here and there.
Yeah, she kind of has like a businesswoman gimmick. She has her own bit. I think like she kind of reminds me of a lot of like the new generation where like everybody had a part-time job. She has a part-time business and as a wrestler. So that's kind of what I picture her as. But Raw needed something new, and this is definitely new. So then that was it for the televised picks on SmackDown. After the show, these picks went in. So Baron Corbin got called up from NXT. He's going to SmackDown, which good choice. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn go to Raw. The team of Cedric Alexander and Ashanti the Adonis are going to SmackDown.
That was an awkward pick.
I understand the trying things, but I would not pair Cedric with Ashanti. I would pair him with Apollo. That's just me personally. Apollo and Cedric sound better as a team, but okay,
right, but
whatever. What are you gonna say?
No. It was like I said. I just found it to be an odd signing, especially at that round. I wouldn't have been surprised if that happened at the supplemental draft. Like I was.
Well, this was the supplemental. This was after the show.
Okay.
Just the fact that they drafted them together.
No, I mean supplemental as in like today. Like they would have been drafted today.
Yeah, I mean I'll take Cedric over Ashanti any day of the week, but okay. Raw drafts Ivar, who was already on Raw. SmackDown grabs the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Beechin. And even though they're not with AJ Styles anymore, they're still on the same show with them. I thought they'd go on to Raw, but all right. Raw grabs Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, both going to Raw. So that ends on Friday. That's Friday's picks. So then we go to Monday. So Raw, so then it's flipped. Raw gets the first pick overall. And they draft Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, number 1 overall.
Okay. No Giovanni because he's ousted out of Imperium.
Mm-hmm. That made sense until we get to a later pick because with the angles he did last week. But and SmackDown got their first pick and they picked Jade Cargill. So back-to-back nights, they drafted Bianca and Jade first overall. Interesting. Kind of, good picks overall. Third pick, Damage Control. I'll go to Raw. Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, Asuka.
With the belts.
Yep, and they made clear that the women's tag belts can be defended on both shows. Technically all 3. But they are exclusive. These 4 are exclusive to Monday Night Raw.
And wherever you drafted to, or whoever, that's where you land at.
Yeah. And for the first time in his career on a draft day, Kevin Owens stays on the show he was going to stay on. So Kevin Owens stays on SmackDown.
Right. That is shocking.
Yeah, and you thought he was going to Raw.
Yeah, I did. I actually did. I thought they were going to break it up.
Yeah. Considering that they're doing the Bloodline and him and Orton at the pay-per-view, I figured they didn't want to change that at all. So, second round, Raw drafts CM Punk.
That would have been one of those. And I also say, like, commentary wise, it was
by the way, Sorry.
it should have been more elaborate, had more detailed and elaborate conversations about it, because it could have been like Raw was lucky to grab CM Punk at that spot, because SmackDown could have definitely taken him in the first round. So that could have been a little bit more of a conversation there.
Yeah. They also could have mentioned why did Nick Aldis think about drafting him? Why did he think about stealing them?
Right.
And they also could have mentioned too that the injury played a factor into him dropping. So.
True. Just
But,
they could have talked that up.
But they did play a storyline during the night with him and Drew where they got positioned. So at least they tried. They tried something on Monday. So second round, SmackDown drafts. This was funny or interesting to me that they actually referred to this group finally as this name, the Pride.
The Pride.
Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, and B-Fab.
Yeah, the Pride. Finally.
Yep. Then the third pick in the second round, Raw draft Braun Strowman, who made his return to television. Looked insanely big. Like, remember how we gushed over how Randy looked at Survivor Series? Braun was definitely like that size. And then SmackDown drafted Tiffany Stratton, who was already on SmackDown. And I mentioned the Ring Fanatics when we shout out to them, listen to their show. But I mentioned they have a tendency to keep couples together. They separated Tiffany Stratton and Ludwig. So interesting move.
They're not married. They're a couple. They're not married. They're just in a relationship.
True. Third round, Raw drafts the LWO: Rey Mysterio, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, Zelina Vega. Despite the graphic too, Dragon Lee as well, and Carlito, who turned on them Friday.
Yeah, right. That might be that might be a trade coming down the way. This should be one, but I
Carlito's
doubt.
gonna work with all of them now, so
yeah.
I mean, Carlito's definitely staying on Raw. There's no way he's going back.
Right.
Then SmackDown drafts Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Electra Lopez, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. Good that they separated Legado and LWO. Good move. Raw then drafts Drew McIntyre. Now, logically, Drew could have been a higher pick, but I understand what they're doing that night with the storyline with him and Punk. So, and Drew re-signed with WWE, so doesn't matter all at the end. But Drew stays on Raw.
And he made a note of it, saying that he should have been a higher pick and stuff. He cut a promo about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
like why is Punk still been put over me?
Right.
And then SmackDown drafted Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, he needs new surroundings. He needs to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Round number 4, correct. Raw drafts the Judgment Day. Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. SmackDown drafts Naomi, who's already on the show. But this was the highlight. Raw drafts Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov to Raw.
Yeah, I pretty much said that. I said they're going to try to keep him tied close to Imperium. I believe so.
Just the idea that you have Dragunov, Sheamus, Gunther, and McIntyre on one show.
Yeah,
those matches alone with those 4.
Mm-hmm. I believe that was going to go down.
And then SmackDown drafts Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. I don't know if you've been noticing on TV, but they're definitely teasing a split. So them going to SmackDown as a pair it makes sense.
I still think that each one of them, because Chelsea's already she's already said that she's going to NXT, going to go chase a title down there for a second. I guess I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't have been surprised if Piper would have gotten the belt just to be a placeholder for a second, but give it to Becky for now, because if any case, I was actually surprised that the love that Becky got on Raw, after such hate that she was getting on social media
for the Becky Hogan comments. They really love Becky. Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
You know what? I also want them to explain why the main roster talent are going to NXT. Like, why do we see a lot of it? I understand it because they're trying to boost the ratings and all that other shit. But like, what's the storyline reason?
If there was there would be certain individuals that I would say probably that I would go along with to say that unfinished business. Let's say like with AOP going down there to do some business, or like Karrion Kross going down there. Michin just went down there. Mia Yim just went down there. You know, I if they would just say we have unfinished business down there, I can get that. I can go with that.
Right. Round number 5. Raw drafts the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. SmackDown drafts Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. I thought they should have gone to Raw. Going to Raw, though, Lyra Valkyria.
Lila Valkyria. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna. I thought it was actually a little bit later. You know, you talk about Kiana James getting drafted higher, but you know what? I guess she wasn't in the pool that day, so Valkyria got in the pool.
Well,
that
technically,
day.
the NXT people were separate from the pools. That were
Look at that. You see, so Billy Mays drafted back to NXT. What? Isaac.
Who said that?
Isaac.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, Lyra going to Raw makes sense. Raw definitely needed new people, especially with Rhea out for the next year. So they needed something. And then SmackDown drafts Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae.
Okay, I think they should be splitting them up as well. I think Indy needs a nice face push for a little while.
Well, right now they're both heels, but
yeah.
I mean, we know how talented Candice LeRae is, but they're better together than separate at this point, right? Because right now they're not over it right now.
Okay,
they're still with them. Then we have the final round on Raw on television. This is when the GMs finally showed their faces. Instead, let's point out too that during this whole draft they cut backstage to the war rooms where the GMs are sitting with random ass people. Like reacted to picks and all this other shit. That's not sports like. That's fake. Like, again, if there was a random ass factor and then you had the reactions to, oh God, we got them. Instead it's like, oh they showed reactions when LA Knight got drafted and you just see Pierce throw a pen.
No,
like,
it's not that
why
it's
are you
fake.
doing that?
It's not fake. It's poorly acted. That's what it is. That's what it's just like when you saw like there was this one dude that was there. I know he was just random in the mix, and you just see him just shaking my head, shaking my head, shaking my head, shaking my head. I was like, who are you? Like, where did you come from?
And the choice of like people in the war room, like Bubba Ray Dudley's in the SmackDown war room, like you've never been on SmackDown in your fucking life.
Right, there was no explanation for that.
Teddy Long's in the Raw war room. You were SmackDown.
I mean, if you're doing
that's a whole other discussion.
If you're doing the announcements, that's one thing. But if you're just there, like helping out, you should explain why you're there. I would expect. Wouldn't Teddy should have been in the SmackDown role? It wasn't that like his show,
exactly.
Right.
And not for nothing. I understand you want to drop the legends out there and you get like a cheap pop, but then on Raw you have Ice Show Speed do one round and he pretty much is just screaming CM Punk's name and Braun Strowman's name into the fucking microphone.
Yeah, that was the low light of the show. We knew we was gonna have one of the goofballs out there.
I mean, the real highlight of Ice Show Speed was at the beginning of Raw when he came out of the trunk.
Oh,
of Logan Paul's car.
Yeah, Raw was another body that just need to be dissected.
I wanted Randy Orton to come back out and kick him into oblivion and bark at RKO him again.
Yeah, that Raw is like another that's something else I need to just be deciphered on a later date.
But final round on television. This is when the GM came out and made the picks themselves. Raw drafts the Final Testament: Karrion Kross, Scarlett, AOP, and Paul Ellering. Made sense. I figured they were going to go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them away from the Pride. Keep doing that feud. SmackDown drafts Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. LOL DIY. Your wife got picked before you.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Raw drafts Big Bronson Reed. Just to do the emphasis, he's big.
Yeah.
And then the final pick, SmackDown drafts Blair Davenport.
I said she was gonna get called up. I knew she was gonna get it.
You know what was legit about this whole thing too is that I don't think Lyra and Blair even knew they were going to get drafted. Their reactions were genuine when they heard their names. Like, oh, like what? That was happy to see because there's not a lot of surprising things anymore. Like Dragunov probably knew once he dropped the title, he got told, "You're going to the main roster. No idea
Right.
where you're going, but you're definitely going up." For women like Blair and Lyra, they're probably like, "Okay, we'll sit here for 3 hours and not hear our names called and be happy for everybody else." But
Yay.
yeah, exactly. But good for Blair. I'm happy to see that she's going to SmackDown. It's gonna be interesting. I hope she gets some kind of a push because her and Bailey could be good. But we'll have to wait and see. So that was the televised picks on Raw, and then once Raw went off the air, we had the supplemental picks. Raw grabbed up Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers are definitely going to wake up with Chad Gable soon. I'm just looking at this image. SmackDown drafts Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, that was interesting. Who is calling? 1 second. Turbo Tabloid, who's this? Hello.
Random number. Uh-oh.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. I gotta put you up for the world. Hold on, wait.
Uh-oh.
Ask that question again. Yeah. Ask that question again.
I didn't hear it.
Hope. Do you see? They're asking. Do you see Nunzio getting drafted back to Velocity?
Maybe. It's called TNA.
Maybe. Thanks for your call. That's a by the way, isn't Nunzio FBI is back in TNA, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giovanni Vinci going to SmackDown. I mean, this guy screams pink slip any day now. So I don't know if he goes back to his other gimmick he was doing in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a random.
I think so. I think I like the model jet setter kind of gimmick. I did like that.
Yeah. Oh, Jay, you boo. Yep. He's going to Raw. New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Yes, that you know what? They need a new setting. They need a new outlook, a new division in Raw. That works perfectly for them.
And again, they're on the same show with Dragunov and Gunther. So if they go singles, those matches will be awesome.
Nice.
SmackDown grabs Tegan Nox. I completely forgot she's even here.
Tegan Nox.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was happy about this in the group chat. As soon as I saw this, Raw drafts Dijak.
Of course, this is the draft you've been waiting for. That's the pick you've been wanting for such a long time. I love the fact that he had both hats on. Wasn't sure.
He had a pair of red glasses and a pair of blue glasses. So as soon as he heard his name, best part about it was he was sitting there. He was just sitting on his phone, like doing his own thing, and then he heard his name, threw his glasses off, grabbed the red shirt out of his jacket, red glasses as well.
A guy knows when a guy knows when a guy knows, and he knew he was getting drafted one way or another.
Mm-hmm. And him going to Raw makes sense. I mean, we'll talk about how the overall rosters look. He should get a significant push on this show because the last time he was on this show as T-Bar, he was relegated to main event. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Let's see Dijak versus Karrion Kross. Yeah.
Or Dijak and Sami Zayn.
That too.
Because right now Dijak's a heel, so
yeah, but that works too.
SmackDown. Poor Apollo. SmackDown drafts Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews got drafted this fucking late.
Yeah, he's always seems to get like that rub. He gets that
Rub.
that you know, it's that last round rub. He gets that pull. He went to where?
SmackDown.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say that Cedric and Adonis went over there too?
Yeah, but I said Cedric and Shikante got put together as a team. I would
I
rather
know,
have.
so he's over there too. So they might as well.
I'd rather have Apollo. I have rather have Apollo and Cedric as a tag team. That tag team, they would be good as a tag team. Not for nothing.
No, I understand that, but I'm like, they're there anyway. They're probably like link them up again.
Yeah. Raw drafts Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Raw also gets Natalia and Raw drafts Odyssey Jones.
Again.
He's been missing for a year.
They must really have high hopes for him. I swear.
It's like the Keith Lee effect.
Right. They must really have some high hopes for him.
He got drafted to Raw.
At least it wasn't Gabe Stevenson again. At least it wasn't him. It's Odyssey Jones. Okay.
It really is Odyssey at this fucking point because you never see this dude. But that's your 2024 draft.
Yeah, like I said, what can I tell you? It was a draft.
Yeah. I mean, also too, what did people really expect?
I didn't expect much. I had said it earlier. I said I didn't really expect much. I didn't see much. It's hard to draft, like I said, when you still have continuing storylines going. So it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And for the most part, you know,
all the storylines are attacked.
Yeah. If you just do a slow burn and maybe tie the storylines into the draft, it makes sense. So, but they didn't. They you know, this was their first shot in a new era, and
this was Triple H's first official draft. Really,
yeah. There's got to be somebody that sits there and like, all right, we got to do a better way of doing this, and
especially like if this is going to be a yearly thing, this needs
they have to do a better way of doing this. But other than that, guys, like I told you guys before. Sorry.
One final thing. Who you think won? Which after the draft, which show looks better?
Oh, the fans won. That's definitely who won. No,
knock it the fuck off.
No, I think Raw took the advantage here. I did. I actually like the pickups that they got and who they kept. I think Raw actually got the better pickings here.
Raw's world title, Intercontinental title pictures are definitely brighter than SmackDown. I feel bad for SmackDown though, because you have Cody as the face of the WWE now, and say it doesn't match with AJ, and it goes on for another 3 months. What do you do with that after? I mean, Randy Orton could be for SummerSlam, but after that, I mean, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, like it's slim pickings on the SmackDown side.
No, by the time August starts running around, the bloodline thing is going to be hitting up a little bit more. So we'll see how that plays out. So we'll see how that turns the page there.
Yeah, and then I also compiled the list of the people that did not get drafted due to injury or just unknown reason as well, or just not being on TV. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Omos, MVP, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Jimmy Uso, Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Alexa Bliss, Raquel Rodriguez, Carmella, Shotzi, Sonya Deville, Dexter Lumis, and Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross is still healthy. Like, she didn't get drafted.
Well, like we hope and predict that she's part of the Wyatt Six,
right?
Whatever form it.
Yeah, that would probably be something like that. But we shall see. Like I said,
do better WWE.
Yeah, exactly. This wasn't a good look. It wasn't very good looking, but nonetheless, this is their first run. So we're under the new regime. So hopefully they'll pick up and we'll see something better for next year. So guys, I've been telling you guys before, we're gonna do some more social media runs this Friday. Homework and I are gonna check in. We're gonna do Backlash predictions and touch up on some news stories and such on that day as well. So As always, guys, thanks for checking in on the social media. It's going to be doing a lot more. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, be a part of all the social media outlets, especially right now with YouTube, Twitch, and such. I'm going to be trying to get into a lot more Twitch stuff as well. Probably do a lot of maybe do some watch alongs there down the line. Do some I actually wanted to bring back we didn't buy a ticket for this. I think it would be cool to do that on Twitch. It'd be a fun thing to do on that side. So yeah, subscribe, be a part of the vibe, and as always, Mike, thanks for checking in, brother.
No problem.
All right, guys. See you guys in a sec.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.